That's the thing when you wear a cardigan. Gets bits on it. Especially when you're on a faux fur.
Faux fur. Faux fur.
A faux fur.
You could have a faux fur sofa.
Did you see that thing about
That's what we
fur?
got, a faux fur sofa.
Yeah, alright.
What
Did you see that thing about fur in the news?
No.
Well, they're talking about, there shouldn't be any more fur manufacturing done because it's cruel and inhumane. But at the same time, there shouldn't be more faux fur manufacturing either because it's all plastic, essentially.
Well, yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome, bloody welcome to the show, which is called
Sunday Chat.
That's right, here on the sofa.
On Sunday.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah, but it's Sunday.
Oh yeah, we are actually filming on Sunday morning.
Yeah.
I know, because... Well, Paul, you had a work party yesterday, didn't you?
I did, but it wasn't anything to do with that.
Well, it was, because we couldn't film in the morning, and by the time it gets to the afternoon, I'm no longer interested.
He was sort of dribbling on the sofa and went, I'm too tired, I don't have the energy.
No, I had an afternoon nap.
Yeah.
As one does, and I said, no, I can't be bothered to do it today. My CBA has kicked in. I can't be asked.
I love that.
That's the way it goes.
I love
Had
CBA.
other things to do. Well, I was the first one that coined that phrase, and everybody's using it now. I think you'll find it's on the record. In fact, I wish I could find which Sunday Chat it
Sunday
was.
Chat!
Anywho, you heard it here first.
You hear everything here first. Yeah, everything.
Anywho.
Apart from the things you don't.
Yeah, shush now, Paul. God. Honestly. So, in a fun-packed show this week, coming up another bit, you see. I'm never wearing dark colours again.
Somebody did pull a very large twig out of my hair yesterday during the work social. And they went, may I? And I went like that, and I went, yeah. It was very light, it was sort of dead, but it was about 12 inches long. I think it was just sort of sitting on the top of my head. I hadn't noticed.
This is not the Twigs of Paul's Hair episode.
Oh, that would be quite good, wouldn't it? I could start a collection of everything I find in my hair. That would be fascinating.
Yeah, and everything that you pick up when you're on a walk.
Oh yeah, I like doing that. Yeah, stones. Yeah.
I see stones. A new ornament has appeared. Some stone from a track somewhere in Britain.
It reminds me of that walk.
Yeah,
that's why.
It reminds me that actually I don't like tat. Knick-knacky tat-tat.
Well, it's not tat, is it? I mean, things that I pick up are basically millions and millions and millions of years old and will last for millions more. Not tat.
My diamond rings are millions of years old,
they
Paul.
are.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm not going to be polishing one of your pebbles.
I haven't done that for a long time.
Anywho, so welcome to all our new subscribers who've recently joined us and probably are wondering what the hell is going on. But hey, welcome. You're welcome, and thank you to all our old wrinkly subscribers and those of you who are rocking in the corner, probably also wondering what the hell is going on, wondering when the next cup of tea will be appearing.
Oh, I often wonder that. I really do. Yeah.
Don't you start. You had a cooked breakfast made for you this morning.
Yeah, I did.
Very much,
Those
living in the lap of luxury.
Those sausages are really,
They're
really
okay.
good. I think they're very
They're
good.
okay.
I think they're better than Linda's.
Yeah, but they're better when they're well cooked and nice and brown, like I made them this morning, rather than pale and whatever when you cook them.
I don't. I usually put them in the thing.
I like my things like that to be on the side of almost burnt.
Yeah, he does.
No, I do.
Yeah.
Or as your mum would have said, roosy.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
right. So
She used to really love her toast. Really, I mean, I do as well. You know, I can't bear it when you have a piece of toast and it's like warm bread. You know, it needs to have a good bit of colour on it, and it needs to have that sort of crispy outside, maybe sort of slightly soft inside, but it needs to be crisp and brown and virtually on the edge of burning. And
a bit like your skin.
What, crisp and brown?
On the edge of burning.
I did forget my my sun cream on Friday. I did forget that then, but I won't forget it today, and I didn't forget it yesterday.
I mean, look at the difference. I mean, literally. Julianne Moore, Donatella Versace. Anyway.
Is she fake though?
Shush now.
Oh,
Paul,
yeah.
please.
Itchy
I haven't
hand.
even got through the introduction
Oh, yeah.
yet. You know how difficult I find following a script of any kind. We wanted to remind you, if you are subscribed, to make sure you've rung the bell for notifications so you know when we've uploaded a video. Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And also, another reminder that we are on other platforms such as Facebook, Richard and Paul, and our Facebook group, which is private. That's Planet Vegetarian. You need to answer the questions. I know we keep saying it, but many of you still fail to answer the questions, and therefore you don't get accepted. Because we've got the computer doing that for us.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a handy little helper.
So it goes, are those questions answered? Tick, 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 zoom in.
And of course we're on Instagram as well, and we do have a Ko-fi page and a Ko-fi shop where you can download digital downloads, downloading
In a download fashion.
whichsoever.
Oh, yeah.
And also I wanted to say that we do our very best to respond and reply to the majority of the comments that we get.
Yes.
So, and as far as we're concerned, it's part of our job to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the whole reason for having this friendly community that we have built up over the past however many
16,000 years. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's get on with the show, shall we?
Yeah, let's. Yeah.
So Paul, we usually kick off with Richard and Paul's weather report. What has the weather been like this week, Paul?
It's been changeable.
Changeable.
We had forecasts of lots and lots of thunderstorms
Apocalyptic.
and rain, and we had none. We did have rain. We had rain quite sort of heavily for about an hour on Thursday evening. There were a few spots of rain on Friday, but Friday became really hot. It got up to about 29 degrees. I think in Essex it was 29.4, and I was at the plot watering because I'd expected rain to come and it hadn't, so certain things, so I had to water them because I'd just sown them. I got so sort of sweaty and hot, and when I got home I was really glad I was home. It was just too hot. It was too hot.
So apparently I read that the UK had over 30,000 lightning strikes.
Yeah, I don't know where.
Well, I think what happened is it moved up northwards from France.
Yeah.
And sort of skirted around London.
Yeah.
Which was a shame.
Well, it was, yeah. You love thunderstorms. I mean, I love thunderstorms as well.
And I will get up in the middle of the night to watch them.
Yeah.
Because you don't get them that often, and it's such a spectacle. Especially if you get, fantastic lightning bolts flying through the sky. It's just too good to miss, surely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So it's slightly cooler today and yesterday.
Yeah.
I think it was about 24, 25 degrees, and it looks as though it's going to heat up again for next weekend, where we're forecast to have about 32 degrees.
Well, I think we got up to around 30, I think it said 31, but that was in full sun.
In the sun, yeah.
Because that's where the sensor is outside. There's nowhere else to put it. It doesn't reach. It's on a wire. It's not wireless. But yeah, so it has been beautifully warm, and the house has started to heat up. Although I don't feel very warm this morning, hence my little elegant linen.
I feel warm enough, but then again, I do have a sort of good 2-inch layer of fat around me, so I think that's why I always feel a little warmer than you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, Paul. So I wanted to mention something that made me chuckle the other day. You know, little things that make you laugh, sort of privately, and then you think, I'm such a numpty. So this is to do with comments. And I read a comment. Sometimes when you are going through the comments, you don't necessarily see or notice which video the comment was about. And sometimes what I do is I skim through the comments and then I work my way back through them. And this was a comment made by Steve Colwell, I think it is. Yeah, Steve Colwell. Hi, Steve. And the comment was, the only bit that I read was, I'm doing Outdoor Girl this year. And in my gay brain, what happened was I thought, you go girl. I'm thinking gingham, I'm thinking pigtails, cut off denims. You do you. Yay. It was only afterwards that I realised that Steve was talking about a variety of tomato rather than a style choice.
Oh, yeah.
Thank goodness I didn't reply to that without reading the full comment. So we do try our best to get back to everybody. And if you do sometimes get a funny comment back, then it is meant in jest.
Yeah, many of them are. Yeah.
I'd still like to see Steve in his outdoor girl outfit.
I think there's still people. Somebody did say to me at the plot the other day, are you ever going to wear your lederhosen? Do you remember we were talking about that months and months ago?
Oh, we were talking about it. It's never going to happen.
Yeah, no. It sort of came up as an Amazon suggestion for me, this sort of outfit of lederhosen. And I don't think this person, I think they must want to see it. So, yeah. But we don't have any, so I'm not going to do any.
Certainly not buying any, and please,
No,
we don't need
no,
any
we don't
sending.
need any. No.
Because that's not going to happen.
But yeah, there was those, the gay lederhosen guys in one of the Michael Portillo things, didn't we, that we watched?
Oh yeah,
they
were doing the old slap and
tickle. Yeah.
Slap and tickle dance.
Yeah, slap and tickle with your lederhosen.
So we wanted to say thank you to Nettie. Nettie sent us a gift. Well,
absolutely.
3 gifts.
Yeah.
2 for me and 1 for you.
Yeah. You've started yours. I haven't started mine yet.
So Nettie sent you a book.
This is it's a thriller that she has read, and I really love thrillers, as I think many of you will know if you watched or you read my blogs. So she sent me a book which was really great. Nettie had been in touch, thanks Nettie, and said, would you like me to send this to you? And I said, oh yeah, that would be lovely. And it had a little surprise for you in there.
Yeah, chocolate cream egg bar. Actually, it's the first time I've had a chocolate cream egg bar.
Mm.
Thank you. I've started it, so I will finish it.
Oh, yeah, that's guaranteed.
Yeah, and but I'm trying to pace myself because, you know...
How much have you eaten so far? About half of it?
No. I've had, I think, 4 squares. The 4 squares went in one go, so...
Fair
and
enough.
Also a bar of dairy milk.
Mm.
So please, don't let this be a cue for everybody to send in more chocolate. Because, I mean, you know, one does have to,
You love your Cadbury's.
I do love Cadbury's. I mean, I love other chocolates, and there are other chocolates available. This is not a paid promotion for Cadbury's, although if they want to pay me to eat chocolate, well, that's a no-brainer.
Or Lindor.
Or Lindor.
Yeah, if Lindor wants to pay as well. Yeah.
Either way.
Yeah.
Either way. Or any other chocolate brand.
But not Hershey's.
But not Hershey's.
No.
Oh, it's like, it is literally dog chocolate.
Yeah. Oh, there we
But
are.
I have eaten dog chocolate, so...
Quite happily.
Well, needs must when you're a child, you know. My mum used to do us cocoa and sugar in a little bag.
Right, not a cup.
No, in a bag.
Oh, right, like the
A little paper bag. And we used to put our fingers in and go like that. When we had no sweets, or there was no money for sweets.
Well, that's quite a good idea.
Yeah, cocoa and sugar.
Yeah.
It wasn't very nice.
Did you eat it all?
Yes. Of course.
Yeah. Did you eat your sister's?
No, they ate theirs.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. I mean, basically, if you gave me a sweet to eat, even if I didn't like it, I would still eat it. Yeah.
If somebody found a unwrapped boiled sweet in my hair, would you eat that?
Absolutely not. Because I know where your hair's been. Through bushes, trees, grasses, plants. Disgusting. So, talking about bushes, trees and plants. See how I did that? I am
Segue.
the master of segues.
Yeah.
I can link anything together.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Carry on. Sorry.
Trees.
Had a little
Mind lapse then.
glitch. A little
Yeah.
glitch then. But also it's great if you have a little bit of a glitch because it leaves room for an advert. There we go. Tree work. So we had some tree work. If you follow us on our vlogs and Paul's blog, is there a link to your blog in the description box now, Paul? Have you updated it recently?
There will be. Yes, there will be.
Make sure you give it to me. Thank you very much. What was I saying? Yeah, tree work. So we had a tree company over and we did a couple of clips and a little bit of stuff on that. So we had our eucalyptus lopped, sort of in half to kind of where it was lopped before.
Yeah.
It will grow back. They are
Prolific.
absolutely, they just grow like crazy. And it provides a screen at the back of our garden so we're not overlooked. And we've also got our pear tree, which has a huge amount of ivy growing on it. And it is alive. The pear tree is alive.
Oh, it's very much alive. Yeah.
But what we've had is the ivy's trunk,
Trunk.
a wedge cut out of it. Very skillfully done, actually, with no harm to the pear tree.
Yeah, the bark of the pear tree has not been touched at all.
And he did it with a chainsaw.
Yeah.
But then he kicked the wedge off.
Right, okay. And it is quite... Because I had tried... I had cut it with a tree saw in various places, but I think I hadn't been able to get a wedge out. So they cut a wedge that's about 2 foot, 1.5 2 foot. And this, I'll put it in next week's A Week at the Plot. It's a big chunk of ivy. Is it in your vlogs, that bit?
No, not yet.
Oh, right, okay.
Because I've not been down the garden to work in the garden yet. But I will get round to doing that and I will film some of my work. But yes, so that's been done as well to try and stop the ivy from growing any further.
And they took a plum down as well.
A self-seeded plum, which has been removed because it was shading a huge amount of the garden. It wasn't a particularly big tree, but it had grown multiple stems.
Yeah.
So it needed to go, unfortunately, but that's what has to happen. Trees have to be managed.
Absolutely.
And you
totally.
do have to sometimes sacrifice a tree. But the good thing about the company that we use is the wood chip gets used for various other jobs.
Yeah.
So it is recycled and reused, which is great. So
I mean, if you watch My Week at the Plot, you'll know that we get quite a lot of wood chip from this company. And the reason we get it from this company is we know we can rely on them when we say we want good wood chip. We don't end up with lots of ivy and lots of sort of brash that we don't really want. We end up with generally really good chip.
And also the good thing is we got talking with one of the supervisors, and he's actually offered us seasoned hardwood
Yeah.
that we can pick up from their
Yard.
For use on the fire
Yeah.
in the winter.
Yeah.
So
that's great.
that's really great. Free firewood, superb. We'll take them up on that. Not that we have that many fires,
No.
and we didn't last winter. We tried to keep it to a minimum. Only on the coldest of days did we light a fire. We would rather suffer in the cold, literally. Somebody put a comment on something that I posted the other day about the temperature of the house. It had got up to 16 degrees, it was starting to warm up, and they commented how cold that was. Well, to us, that's positively warm.
Yeah, I mean, 16 degrees is a really decent temperature.
I mean, in the winter, it gets down to, I think the lowest we've recorded was 8 degrees in the house.
Yeah.
In the winter, so that's kind of how we live. This is a Victorian house. It's detached. We have wooden floorboards. There are air bricks because there have to be, because we've got open fireplace. It's just the way it is. And actually, in many ways, I think it's probably slightly healthier.
I think so.
Because I don't feel as though we've been particularly ill.
No.
In the past couple of years.
No. I mean, when I was travelling to work and you were travelling quite a bit to the guys on the other side of London, Danny and Neil, I think we picked up quite a lot of things then because I was doing a lot of travelling and then we were in the car together for 2 or 3 hours.
Pick up stuff at work.
Yeah,
down the road,
that's true. Yeah.
Because you're always dealing with people. But hey, that's the way it is in our house. That is the reality of living in an old Victorian. Mm-hmm. So, Paul, you wanted to talk about questioning things on social media and some of the lies that people seem to be telling.
Yeah.
And it's true. You have to really, really be careful about how you get taken in by people's videos.
But their videos or the photos or the stories that they tell of a particular photo. And this week I saw a photo of two young boys, maybe about 8 or 9 or something. And one was white and the other was a person of colour. And the story told in this post was that one of them came home and said that his classmate said that he had a twin. There was a new person and they looked exactly the same. And his mum went out because she thought it would be nice for them to dress the same and bought 2 shirts to wear at school. She gave it to her son so that they could both wear them at school. Then she was surprised when she got this photo of the 2 of them because they were sort of the same age but they looked different, and it was just the sort of innocence of the child, and let's be thankful for that he thought and other people thought they were twins. And I thought, well, it's really clever that you've done that because one of the boys was clearly several sizes larger than the other boy. So even though the mother hadn't seen them, she'd gone out and bought shirts of different sizes, the same check shirt of different sizes. And I immediately thought, this story's not true. You know, you've taken a photograph and you've created a story to get clicks, basically. And you just really need to be careful now of what you know, if you're on social media and you're looking at it quite a bit, what you like and what you choose to ignore, because so much now that is going out is just clickbait or untrue. You know, it's extraordinary.
Well, it's also, I watch quite a few little sort of cookery videos very often because I've maybe lingered on one and I get quite a few of them. And I see these cookery videos and it's like, you know, a young guy and he's attractive and, you know, oh, I'm putting together a dish in the kitchen that I really love baking and and I'll do this and I'm just going to throw it together and whatever, blah, 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 blah. Look, a lovely cake. And the kitchen is high end for a start. The lighting is absolutely perfect. There are absolutely no issues with colour or brightness, or there's no wobbly camera work. So there's got to be a rig of lighting in there. There's got to be a really, really decent camera or high-end phone photographing it. There must be somebody else involved because it, you know, and this lad clearly doesn't own this high-end kitchen. Do you know what I mean? And I just look at it and think, this is just fake.
Yeah.
This is not somebody in their kitchen throwing together a meal. It's completely faked. So I do wonder, there's such an amount of stuff on social media now. We are so flooded with it that I think people are becoming less and less able to discern what is actually natural and real and what is put together and made up to appear a certain way.
Yeah.
I think we don't look beyond what we see. And of course most of us just scroll past as well. But I think also there's a lot of trying to pull at people's heartstrings.
Yeah, absolutely.
To get a like, to get a follow.
Certainly this post was all about that, you know, about, oh, isn't it lovely that, you know, kids they don't see colour and blah, 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 blah. That's what it was trying to get. And you're a wonderful mother for doing this, you know, you're so fabulous. And it's like, yeah, really? Yeah.
But also you get those posts that say things like, I'll have a picture of a sad puppy and it'll say, I bet nobody likes my post.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right.
I'm not going to. Yeah.
So be careful about what you get drawn into.
And of course, you know, we're talking about social media. Of course, news. You know, if you do not watch a truly independent news channel, or you don't read a truly independent newspaper or news platform, i.e. one that isn't owned by a baron, a billionaire, you know, a media baron, you're also not getting the truth. You know, you're often being lied to. You know, it's the nature of the beast.
I've noticed that the BBC now have to deliberately and very openly, whenever they make a point of view, they now make a point of saying, but on the other hand, da 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 da.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because they've come under fire for not doing that and not providing a balanced, unbiased point of view.
Yeah, and I sort of think that's ridiculous because something's either true or it's not. You know, going back to what we were saying.
Yeah, but it's when people are expressing opinions, isn't it?
Well, when they're expressing opinions, I can understand that there needs to be a balance. Whether that needs to be a balanced opinion, I'm not sure. Those things are different.
Well, anything can be classed as an opinion, can't it? Doesn't make it factually correct.
Absolutely, yeah.
You know,
totally.
I really detest it when people say, but that's my opinion. It's like, but it's wrong. Your opinion is factually incorrect.
Yeah.
Hello.
I do actually say to someone was talking to me at our gate sale about climate change, and they were saying how, it's fake and they know this. And I said, well, of course you're totally entitled to your opinion. The fact it's just wrong has got nothing to do with it.
Yeah, climate change is climate change. Whether it's man-made or not, it's still climate change.
I mean, we were talking
We've
about
gone through
this.
many periods of climate change
Absolutely.
in this Earth's history.
It's the speed.
When man was not around.
Yeah, it's the speed of that's going on. We were talking, about the thunderstorms that we didn't have. There's been many forecasts, and we've gone, well, where's the rain? Where's the thunderstorms? Where's this? Where's that? But of course, what we've got to remember is that the modelling done by these huge weather computers is based on decades and decades of data, of true data. But the problem is with climate change and the rapid changes we're seeing now is that just in the last 10 years, the weather patterns have changed so much that if you take that data and you put it into all of the other data, it becomes quite sort of minimal. So I think they're going to have to do new modelling of data to say, well, this is what the whole data set of the last 100 years of weather shows, but this is what the last 10 years show.
Well, I'm sure their computers are doing that already, Paul. I mean, these people are highly intelligent people.
I know, but I think when we get told things that there is going to be torrential rain and likely to be flooding, and then you get, a bit of rain that just about wets the surface, you think...
But also, I think, historically, they have come under fire for not warning people of potentially disastrous conditions.
Absolutely.
Like the time that Michael Fish said a woman phoned into the BBC and said that a hurricane was on the way. Well, I can tell you there's not going to be a hurricane, and there was a hurricane.
Yeah.
And people died. So,
Anyway.
Anywho, Paul, shush now. It's time for the intellectual part. It's the 15th of June, and this is taken from A Word for Every Day of the Year by Stephen Poole, which was gifted to me by Vivi Gregory of What Viv Did Next, and Vivi's Kitchen Garden, and Vivi's Cottage by the Sea. The word today is pungative. Pungative. Pungitive. Pungative. Any ideas, Paul?
Did you say J or G?
G.
G.
Pungative.
Something that's smelly.
Well, Paul. The British food and sports writer Peter Grove, who died on this day in 2016, was known as the curry legend for his promotion of what became the national cuisine of the United Kingdom. Pungative is a word tailor-made for the more adventurous kinds of dishes. It means sharp, stinging, or cutting, from the Latin pungitivus, meaning piercing. This is related to the more common word pungent, usually ascribed to smells or flavours from the Latin pungus, which means piquant. But pungative has a stronger sense of biting or puncturing, and might be just what you need to describe an unexpectedly hot dal or kimchi. There we go. A considerate author in 1484 advised readers to be aware of the kind of evil chewings that were too pungative, including mustard, garlic and onions.
Oh, I see.
It was an age of more innocent palates. The word, attested since 1425, need not describe only tastes. However, writers have described, for example, the pungative prick of necessity, 1586, or a pungitive pain in the side, 1764. There we go.
There we are. I love the bit in Carry On Henry. Do you remember where he's going to bed with his new queen, and she's French and she's been eating lots of garlic? Do you remember that bit?
Well, what was said?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, exactly.
I don't know.
So you
but
can't
it's very
illustrate
amusing.
it if you don't remember what was actually said, Paul.
Well, I did just illustrate
Really?
it. Yes. So she's sort of doing it because it's sort of sexy and French, and he's sort of like, you stink. Yeah.
Right, it's time for the final segment of the show, which is, what have we watched on television this week? So, Paul, what have we watched? Okay, well, we watched that interesting thing, didn't we? Videos that shaped
The 80s. Yeah.
Can you remember any of the videos that did shape the 80s, Paul?
Well, it wasn't just 80s videos, was it? So it went back to
I don't know, Paul.
Freddie Mercury.
Queen.
It went back to
Bohemian
Queen.
Rhapsody.
Yeah, absolutely. It went
Yeah.
back to that video, and it sort of went on from there. But I do remember Aha was one of them.
Oh, bless them.
Yeah.
Lovely Morton.
Such a brilliant song.
But interesting to learn that the song was released and didn't do anything at all.
Yeah, I think it was 4 months or
Something
6
like
months. And then they did the video and they re-released it, and it just took off from
Yeah,
there.
of course, so memorable. And videos, was Billie Jean one of them?
Yeah, Billie Jean was, yeah. I mean, it's...
What else? Can you remember any of the others? I mean, these are the videos that defined an era, and we can't even remember.
Oh, Vienna. That was one. Ultravox's Vienna. Duran Rio.
The director Russell Mulcahy, he did a lot of those videos. He did Vienna. He did a lot of the Duran videos.
Wild Boys.
Yeah. And they became more and more spectacular as time went on, more and more filmic as time went on. And you kind of looked forward to catching one of the videos. I do hope Top of the Pops is going to play it, or blah blah blah, because in those days, of course, most people didn't have video recorders.
No,
they were very expensive pieces of equipment. Most people couldn't afford to have one and record your favourite bits from TV.
You were still recording from the chart countdown on the radio, onto a cassette tape. Yeah.
So that was a good one.
That was. I didn't know. I think I did know this, but I didn't know that Vienna was recorded in Covent Garden in London. Your mind obviously thinks that though they went to Vienna to do it, but no, it was in Covent Garden.
We continue with Canal Boat Diaries.
Yeah.
On You and Yesterday.
I think there's a couple more left. This time he went down or up the Grand Union Canal from the Thames, which is 2 miles that way. So he came in Thames Lock from the Thames and went through our local Hanwell locks, which are step locks.
It's called a flight.
It's a flight, yeah. But that's and it's a heritage flight, isn't it? It's
part of that canal stretch goes over what is called the Three Bridges ancient monument, which was built by Brunel. Yeah. Isambard Kingdom Brunel.
The last thing I think that he was built before he died.
And he did a couple of buildings in this area. He did the Warncliffe Viaduct, which is a train line which goes over Bunny Park, which is one of our local areas. But the Three Bridges Monument is a railway line with a canal on top and then a road bridge on top of that. So it's very odd when you're walking along at what you think is ground level along the canal towpath, and you look down and there's a railway line, and you look up and there's a road bridge above you. It's very disconcerting the first time you do it. So he was going along that stretch, which was really interesting. It was really interesting to see our area through somebody else's eyes, effectively, from the canal point of view. Because we've known those towpaths for
years, decades.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we'd only just done our sort of regular walk down to a certain bridge, which he goes under, and then walked back and did all that. I'm surprised he didn't show the M4 bit, because I always find that and the underground quite interesting. But of course, in programmes, sometimes he may have filmed that and it just wasn't used in the final edit. So who knows? Yeah.
So I try to include a few bits and pieces of the local area in some of my vlog videos, so make sure you check them out. And in fact, last week's vlog features a stretch of the canal that we're talking about. So, yeah. We also watched a really interesting programme, The Many Faces of Alison Steadman.
Yeah.
The actress, famous, I think most famous for Abigail's Party, for creating the character of Beverly. And I say creating the character because this was formed of a improvisation. That's how the director Mike Leigh likes to work. So yeah, amazing performance, very uncomfortable to watch. If you've never seen it, you can catch it, I'm sure, on YouTube. Also Nuts in May, another memorable performance, and several others over the years. The one they didn't mention was Orphan Black.
Well, they didn't mention Orphan Black because I think it was just being made at that time.
Yeah.
So people will know her from Gavin and Stacey. I think younger people will know her from Gavin and Stacey. And yes, Orphan Black, which was a multi-series show that we both really enjoyed.
Loved it.
And she appeared in third season or something, and it was like, oh, that's Alison Steadman. Yeah.
So we watched The Sky at Night. It was quite an interesting one this time around because it was about it was interesting.
Was it?
Yeah, it was about the meridian, the prime meridian at Greenwich.
Yeah.
And there was an anniversary. Can't remember what anniversary it was.
Several hundred years.
150 years or something.
They had a dinner party and they were all sort of talking about. I just find sometimes the concepts of how they're going to deliver information a bit odd, and I found this one a bit odd.
Well, I enjoyed it because they're talking about time, and I love anything to do with time.
Yeah.
Time and space.
And particularly they were talking about what is now at one point. What is now? Because as soon as now is now, it's actually in the past. So does now actually exist? Because as soon as we see what's happening now is in the past. That's fascinating.
Well, now can never be measured.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's more of a concept than a reality. Interesting. We have started watching a series 1 on BBC Two of The Power of Parker, which is a comedy show. We won't tell you anything about it because it is a little bit twisty.
Yeah.
And it's very good.
It is.
I mean, to me, it's not like laugh out loud as such.
No.
But it's just very engaging because of the acting and the characters and the situation that they all find themselves in,
which is ridiculous.
Which is ridiculous.
But also, you can see that happening.
It's kind of believable. It's not It's not out of the realms of possibility.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, really good. The Power of Parker.
There's 2 seasons, and I think we've come to the end of the first season. I think.
We continue with Glow Up, nearly at the end of that. Hurrah!
Yeah, so it's the final this week. I know who I want to win, but.
And we are watching a really old series on YouTube, Happy Families. And this is a series from 1985.
That's 40 years ago.
Yeah, 1985. I was 18.
Yeah. God.
In
That's
1985,
amazing. That's
17,
mad.
18. And this is written by Ben Elton, who was a stand-up comedian and writer,
Alternative.
part of the alternative comedy set in the UK. And when we talk about alternative comedy in the UK, it was when all of the old comedy shows were effectively swept aside by this new generation of stand-up comics, many of which formed part of the comic strip, who were a group of comedians. And it stars Jennifer Saunders, who plays multiple characters in the show. I'm not going to tell you much about it, but she plays multiple characters. You've got Adrian Edmondson playing her brother and grandson.
Yeah, multiple characters, remember?
Yeah, and you've also got plenty of other stars of the day. Stephen Fry, Hugh Laurie,
Dawn French.
Helen Lederer.
Helen Lederer's character is one of my favourites, and my other favourite, the French priest.
Oh,
Rick Mayall.
Rick Mayall. Stellar performance by Rick Mayall.
Rick Mayall was just such an amazing
Brilliant actor.
comedian, comic, actor, whole thing. Really was.
Oh.
They all were,
Eyelash.
but yeah, Rick Mayall, the nuances that come into this character of this French priest is extraordinary.
So, just to give you a flavour of it, it is the story of Guy and his grandmother, and how his sisters were sent away when he was a child, and for some unknown reason the grandmother wants to get them all back together.
She's nearing the end of her life.
Yeah, and we don't know what the reason is, and we don't actually find out what the reason is until the final episode. And and the sisters are all played by Jennifer Saunders, as is the grandmother. But it's a really it's of its time. It's of its time,
And therefore very, very funny.
We've it's just an engaging story, but the comedy is of its time.
Therefore very funny.
And could be, I guess, described a little bit edgy in places.
It was alternative comedy.
But that set of alternative comedians at the time were hitting our generation. It was our humour. We were not, even though we'd grown up with the classic comedies, this was new and fresh, very edgy, very rude.
Yeah, very funny.
That was the attitude that a lot of the parents. This is very rude and uncouth and violent and all of it. So it wasn't liked by everybody, but of course we got swept along with it. And I can literally quote lines from that show.
Yeah, you can.
As I can from the comic strip Presents as well. I knew all of those word for word because they were watched and watched and watched. I had friends that had video recorders that had recorded them, and we used to watch them over and over and over again. So yeah, there you go.
So that's on YouTube. Did
Happy
we say
Families.
that? Happy Families
by
on
Ben
YouTube.
Elton with Jennifer Saunders and Dawn French. So that's it. That's it for this week's show.
That is. Yeah.
It's almost time for lunch now, Paul.
I don't think we need lunch, do we?
We did have a big breakfast.
He cooked breakfast this morning.
Yeah,
we had
it was
a cooked
lovely.
breakfast.
Lovely.
Yeah, I don't think we
It's
need
been
lunch.
years since we've had a cooked breakfast.
I think it's been a while, yeah. I mean, it was utterly delicious. Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Oh, yeah.
So that's it. Time to say goodbye
Get
now.
into what's that line? Get into the kitchen and prick those sausages. Prick your sausages.
Line from what?
From Happy Families.
Oh yeah, to Flossie.
Cook to Flossie. Yeah. Oh, get into there and prick your sausages. Yeah.
Right.
It's funnier in the real show. Oh dear.
Bye for now then.
I'm looking forward to the other episodes of that.
Yeah, bye for now. Shush
It's
now.
really, it really is
Paul.
worth it.
We're saying
Oh, yeah.
goodbye now.
Yeah, we're saying goodbye now. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Come again.
Watch A Week at the Plot when it comes up tomorrow.
Watch my vlog.
Richard's vlogs last week and next week.
Yeah,
And there's going to be more cookery as well.
watch all the adverts.
Yeah, and then there's going to
God.
be Richard and I doing lederhosen dance as well with bananas.
No, there isn't.
Bye.
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 Bye.